Hello and welcome to edumate.tv. I'm CHETAN SHARMA. We learn to live and live to learn in what has turned out to be an unprecedented situation, an unprecedented pandemic, with history being written across the geography of Mother Earth, and a minor virus has created a major catastrophe, making each and every one of us rewind, rethink, reboot, reformat, re-strategize before we rebuild a new normal, a new future. In the world of education, particularly higher education, if there's one trait that's required to overcome the challenges, to find solutions, and to create opportunities, it's got to be the trait of wisdom. Wisdom emanating from past experiences, past knowledge, and wisdom infusing the capacity to expect, embrace, and evolve the new normal. And that's why we have our very wise Chancellor. But today joining us is a very special guest from Jaipur, from the Indian Institute of Health Management and Research. We've got Dr. Pankaj Gupta. Thank you for joining us. These, of course, have been challenging times, Dr. Gupta, to say the least. And they're all to do with the parameter of health. So you're a very relevant organization because you're not just about health management, more importantly, you're about health research. And right now, if the world is failing on one account, it's failing on the account of research of WISE. What's your take?
See, my university is the leading university in the area of health management research. And we are known for creating cutting-edge research and also impacting the public policy and the whole domain, including the practice and so on. In fact, during this time also, we have been advising the government of Pakistan as to how to handle the test, how to, when we are creating the guidelines like lockdown and unlock guidelines, and many things, the sero testing, how to measure the herd immunity and so on. We are not only just for the rigor, but also for the relevance. And during this time, we have done a lot of publications as well, because faculty members, they were not required to go to the university, but they've been publishing their research, and we have got so many top-tier publications during this time. And so in this way, though it is a challenge and great problem which all of us are facing, but we have been preparing ourselves quite well, and including, like, we have started the online classes. We have been also preparing our whole campus for the social distancing, and we are helping all our stakeholders and the government as to how to handle this pandemic.
So one thing, Dr. Gupta, which has been the big challenge, particularly in media, and that's the level of misinformation, the level of information without credibility, information which is somewhat biased or agenda-driven, and information which is just unverified. So in a situation like that, what has been the research findings? Give us some facts which we should really know on coronavirus, which you at the Institute have unveiled.
Coronavirus, there have been different kind of issues, including, whether it is spreading through the air or what are the different ways in which this whole disease can spread, and many such issues were there. So we give them advice based on different clusters. We also provide them research, when the red zone is there, orange zone is there, what kind of precautions to be taken. And also when the whole different clusters were being assessed, getting the sample, finding out how much is the level of penetration there. So all that research has been done by our faculty, and also a lot of sociological aspects also, including the mental health, the kind of issues people are facing by work from home. And also one faculty has done research on the entire genome of the virus. And one faculty has also done research on what is the level of malnutrition among children and what is the mortality rate going up, and what is going to be the future impact on the healthy children, especially the state of Pakistan. So different kind of research are there, and also many of the research are also in the pipeline. And we also keep getting funding from our partners like Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Johns Hopkins University, WHO, World Bank, HCL Foundation, to name a few.
Is there any meaningful conclusion that you've come up with? Because we've been hearing so many loose informations about vaccines, about herd immunity. It's the term that's being used, which I don't think most people really understand what it means and how effective it can be. About immunity building, and it's lesser effective on the rural population, which have a stronger immunity. So what are the facts really?
The research on these topics which you have mentioned, they are still in the process. Still, there are not very clear conclusions coming out of those research. So it would be little, premature to say and, share about the progress on the vaccine or about the herd immunity and so on. So what worked and what did not work and what are the lessons to be learned? That also, we have been documenting it, because we are not only publishing papers, but also we are documenting different kind of case studies, and which are in great demand in many of our partner institutions from all over the world.
Sure, but there have been some other divides, across the world, and that's been particularly on the opinion of a lockdown, whether one should be having it or not. What have been your findings? Because you mentioned that you have done a lot of research on the impact of lockdown.
Though there can be different situation on the lockdown, but I believe that lockdown should have been extended a little more, because the people who came in the unlock, many of them have just thought as if they got little freedom and they can enjoy and they can maybe moving away without mask or socializing and so on. So that has been proved to be like counterproductive. So especially in the state of Rajasthan, situation is quite good. And if you compare with the other averages from other states in India, the state has been doing quite well. If you look at the recovery rate and also look at the mortality rate, we are doing quite well. And also we have been also working with the state of Rajasthan to create different kind of campaign, because we have also analyzed that when the people are coming to the hospital, at what stage they come. Sometimes, they do delay at home when there was some initial symptoms, and once you delay, when you bring in somebody who is like almost dead, so then nobody can do anything. So we have also been helping the government with creating social media campaigns that जिन्होंने आपका ध्यान रखा, अब आपकी बारी, targeting towards the elder population, and also how to popularize even the state helpline number and also the national helpline number, because it is all about the behavior change communication, and also creating in different dialects, like in certain population where you also have to speak in Marwari accent, somewhere you have to speak in rural way, and the kind of role model which they appreciate, rather than one size fits all. So all these kind of inputs have been provided by us.
You mentioned the importance of communication. I'm going to come back to the importance of communication, or the absence of miscommunication, which I think is very important also, particularly in a pandemic when fear mongering is at large and a lot of myths are being dished out with absolute authority. So could you at least talk us through some of the myths that you think are definitely unproven and wrong and should not be adhered to at all?
There was a time when people were getting very, very scared. Like I remember in one of the locality, one person got corona positive. So a lot of people started leaving the whole locality. Okay, now it is in the air and we all will get affected by that. And a lot of social stigma around that. So we did, our students also are very active. So they did some sort of a campaign that if somebody has got a corona positive, it does not mean that that person or the entire family become totally untouchable. So wherever we find such situation are there, we help people. But I think the government in total, both the central level and also the state level, they've been doing quite well to dispel all these myths. And also, do gaj ki duri jaruri, mask and hand sanitization. It is now on the government has done pretty well. Now these are totally on the tongue of everyone. But it also happens sometimes that people just take it so lightly. And secondly, the people are also very much used to, it has been just going on. Uske bina bhi kaam ho jayega.
So let's come back to the fact that you're a university. Of course, you're dispensing education, and that's had its own unique set of challenges in COVID. What's been your experience with the new normal of online education, on training the teachers, on perhaps changing curriculum, or or trying to infuse blended education? What have been your learning?
Experience has been really great because we have been holding now the morning meetings. We do it at around 10 o'clock every day, where we also have reserved certain days, like one day would be on research, one day would be on the online classes, one day would be a faculty development program, and so on. So I saw there much better kind of bonding is there. And people can also attend these meetings from the comfort of their homes. And as I told you that never before in the history of IIHMR we have got so many top refereed publications coming in these 4 months. So this year already we got very good ranking in NIRF, EW ranking, and also in the week ranking, which we are consistently growing for the last 3 years. Some faculty members who are very much used to teaching like walk and chalk, they initially had some problem, but we sort of had a dialogue with them and discussed with them that how it is important now to go for the new normal. And so they very much cooperated. I've got a very wonderful team. I'm very proud of them. So everybody cooperated, my deans, my provost, everybody, we created a small clusters. So we created like a mentoring model, like one professor, then you have some associate professor and some assistant professor. And we create a team. And with that team, we said, okay, you have to develop modules on the health system, somebody on the epidemiology, somebody on the communicable and non-communicable diseases, somebody on the behavior change communication. So in this way, we created that clustered approach, and that gave us very good dividend. Then we have also been working on faculty development. Academic leadership series has been going on, because now we have the liberty. I can call from somebody from MIT or Harvard, or even from our partner university, Johns Hopkins. We have also done more than 60 webinars during this period, and different kind of themes, including the health system to the vocal for local and mindfulness, inner peace during the pandemic, and also how to manage the economy, and where the Secretary of Finance is speaking. So it was all about engagement model, and faculty and all my colleagues have cooperated very well, and publications, and also preparing for the future, because now we know that going online is now the writing on the wall. It is no longer whether I want to do it or I don't want to do it. So these are some of the thoughts.
Talk us through a bit of the past of Professor Pankaj Gupta, and what does the future hold for him, as well as for the institute IIHMR?
I've been throughout an academic leader, and I'm from Lucknow, and I had a small stint in the government also, but mainly in the academy. And being with IMT Ghaziabad, IIM Kozhikode, and I was the founding director with Symbiosis. And then I was selected as the top academic leaders by Korn Ferry, which was a global search firm. And then certain CEO level positions, then Vice Chancellor. Then in some time, in silence for some time, then again came back and joined OP Jindal as an executive director. And then here. So I've been saying one thing, what is more, कि जो प्राप्त है वो पर्याप्त है. What is in front of me, is it all that matters? So I do not think what was my past or what is going to be my future. I believe that if I'm totally dedicated and passionate about my now, and then creating something great future on a blank canvas. I always say that it is not the SWOT, like you say, there is strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. I say from SWOT to so what. So means S for strength and O for opportunities. And do not think about weakness or threat. My university is already a great university in the area of healthcare. And we are already known for our great research, and which we will continue to do. And we are also planning to start new schools, like a School of Public Health, School of Mental Health and Well-being. And we already have many very important collaborations, which also we plan to improve. And also in terms of the ranking, in terms of the size. But we do not want to be a very big, so many students, but we are more for the meaning than money, and more of a class than mass. So that is our thinking about it. And I believe that with this current pandemic, I also feel very proud of all our alumnus who are all over the world, and they are now heading hospitals, healthcare organizations, and everywhere.
Oh, wonderful. I know you've been a brilliant teacher, but I also know you've been a brilliant learner. So tell us, as we conclude, what are the 3 big lessons that you got from COVID-19?
One is that, being in now, and do not worry so much about what will happen to me in the future, and living very, very mindfully in this very moment. And number 2 is also very much related to the point 1. It is, like, this too shall pass. And number 3, take care of others, because you are only as good as your team is. So if you take care of your team, if you take care of your students and all the stakeholders, the innovations, growth, everything will come from there. Also, the name which you have given is a WISE Chancellor. So again, it is a very, very innovative idea. And the way you just ask very at random questions, and it is very, very good. Because when you give anybody a sort of set questions, then you prepare and then give answer, it is killing the creativity. So I truly appreciate this very good and candid conversation.
Let me sum up your learnings in 3 P's. P number 1 is present. Live in the present. Think about the now. P number 2 is positivity. Take things in a positive stride. And I think point number 3, the third P, is partnership. Look at everybody as a partner and look at it in the sense of a team. You truly have been Dr. Pankaj Gupta, our Vice Chancellor, and thank you for being here.